Hello, very good morning, students. I hope all of you are fine at your home and working very hard for cracking your board examination. I am Vaibhav Shah, and today we are going to discuss about the characteristics of organizing. In last lecture, we discussed 7 characteristics, that is the group oriented activity, planning based, the delegation of authority and responsibilities, importance to human element, flexibility, establishment of interrelationship, and lastly, monitoring and control. And today we are going to discuss last two characteristics, that is group activities and controlled administrative structure. First of all, let us discuss characteristics number 8, that is group activities. In an organization, many people work together for the accomplishment of a common goal. The organizing provides effective structure to them so that the group activity can be conducted properly. As we all know that management itself is a work when there is more than two persons are engaged in any of the achievement of objective. So here in group activities in an organization, many people work together for the accomplishment of a common goal. It is depends upon the size of the organization that how many persons are actually involved for completing that particular task. Sometimes it may happen that there are 5 or 10 people who are working for the achievement or accomplishment of a common goal, while sometimes it may happen that there are 15-20 people or 100, 200 or 1000 people are engaged in completing or accomplishment of a common goal. So here management itself is a work of a group, and that's why in an organization many people work together for the accomplishment of a common goal. The organizing provides effective structure to them so that the group activity can be conducted properly. Now, consider this point that the organizing itself provides effective structure. As we discussed in last lecture also that organizing is one kind of a structure, or it is a one kind of a format which provides effective structure to them. It means when there are 5, 10, 15 or more than that persons are engaged in any of the activity, it is required that is some kind of structure should be there so that the role of each and every person will be developed properly and no work can be repeated and nothing can be left without doing any kind of work. So the organizing itself provides effective structure where each and every activity is managed very properly, and this effective structure to them so that the group activity can be conducted properly. It means it requires that there should be a clear understanding on division of work, authority and responsibility, and the contribution of each and every person necessary in the success of any organizing. That's why we can say that organizing is a group activities. This is the common characteristic that you can find even in management itself. It is in management, in principles of management also, in organizing, in staffing and in directing also. You will find the same kind of characteristics. Now ninth and last characteristics is that controlled administrative structure. Organizing is a particular kind of controlled administrative structure. In any business unit, rules and controls are required in order to define relationship, and the same is formed by organizing. So here this point wants to say that it is a properly controlled administrative structure via rules and regulations so that can be helpful in achievement or accomplishment of objective very easily. Let us discuss this point. Organizing is a particular kind of controlled administrative structure because as we all know that it is the effective structure where rules and regulations, relationship establishment, distribution of authority and responsibility, everything in a proper manner. So it is a particular kind of controlled. Why it is controlled administrative structure? Because no one can overlap their activities or without any kind of discipline, or we can say indisciplinedly, they cannot work with each other, but they should work in a properly manner. So we can say that organizing is a particular kind of controlled administrative structure. In any business unit, rules and controls are required, whether it is small business unit or large, whether it is manufacturing or trading or service providing unit, that is in any of the business unit, rules and controls are required. For what? In order to define relationship. It means there is a proper rules and regulations which are properly divided so that the relationship between superior and subordinate, relationship between peers, colleagues should be properly maintained. And the same is, that is, the same organizing is formed by organizing, or we can say the same structure formed by organizing itself. So here with this point we conclude this particular characteristics of organizing, in which we have discussed 9 different types of characteristics which can be useful for understanding or identifying the organization. Now I want to make one thing very clear, that many of the students amongst you are unable to complete the paper in time, and this happens either because the paper is very lengthy or because they are not able to write in a timely manner. The second option is very common amongst the students, that is, they are not able to complete the paper in a timely manner, and this happens because they don't have any kind of practice or practicing in particular activity. It may happen that during this lockdown, by sitting at home, you just watching the videos and not making any kind of notes or not practicing any of the question by sitting at home. There is one humble request from my side, is that please don't do this kind of activities. Basically in any of the lecture, that is the lecture of 30 minutes or 40 minutes, we are completing only one question, and sometimes it may happen that if the question is very big, then it will take 2 to 3 lectures to complete that particular topic. So instead of just watching it, you can start practicing, where first of all, whenever you are sitting for watching this video lecture, take one book and pen along with you. Wherever it is necessary or wherever you find it is necessary to write down the concepts or some of the important lines, then start writing it. It will helpful in 2 ways. First one, you will be having the proper points or concepts of all that you watched today, whether it is in economics or in OC or in any of the subject. And second thing, whenever you are writing in between the lectures, or whenever you are doing such kind of practices, then your concentration level will increase in the lecture, because now you are not watching this lecture for the watching purpose or for the sake of watching, but for the sake of learning and gaining knowledge, so that it will helpful in increasing your concentration level, and also it will helpful in maintaining the concepts that will be helpful in your examination. Say for example, today we have completed the characteristics of organizing. Total 9 characteristics are there, out of which in last lecture we have discussed only 7, and today we discussed last 2. So now what you want to do is, first of all, go through all the 9 characteristics which we discussed yet so far. After reading it, once you just learn all the points and start writing in your rough book. Once you make a practice of working each day's work daily on the daily basis, then it may happen that at the end of some period of time you will be having a very foolproof knowledge of all that questions which you once go through, and it might be possible that you will be able to write in a proper manner. Your presentation skill will also improve, and with that your writing skill will also increase, and that will helpful in writing your final papers. So start this work from today itself. Today you just read all these 9 points twice or thrice, and then remember or learn all the head points and start writing, start practicing at your home. So it may happen that with this continuous practice you will be able to learn and write each and everything, and that will be helpful in even this exam even in this test and your final examinations also. Now let us move towards the next question or the next concept, that is steps for the process of organizing. As we have already discussed that the process of any of the particular topic, like the process of planning or process of organizing or staffing, controlling or directing, you have to remember or learn the process in a lockstep fashion. That is, you cannot skip or cannot exchange the points with one another. You have to remember this full process in a particular sequence only, and whenever it is asked, you have to write in a sequence itself. Last time in the chapter of planning, I have mentioned that you can write the process or you can present the process in different styles also, and at that time I have discussed some of the styles, like you can write the points in step fashion, that is staircase fashion, also in the hanging fashion also. It means you can write at any other style of presentation, so that it will become easy to remember the process of any of the topic, whether it is of the planning or organizing or staffing or controlling. So let us start the steps for the process of organizing. The formation of organizing is a scientific process. According to Peter F. Drucker, the lack of proper formation of organization cannot sustain for a long time. Hence, the unit is slowly destroyed. It is through ensuring proper steps of the formation of organizing that the functional relations are established in a proper manner, which should be done properly. So, before discussing the points, let us discuss the introduction given over here. The formation of organizing is a scientific process, because as we all know that for proper structuring of the organization, we require to first of all list down all the activities that are necessary for accomplishment of objective. Once we list out all these things, then we are making a proper sequence of the activities, and based on that different type of authorities and responsibilities are decided. So everything which is done in the organizing or for the formation of organizing, it is a scientific process that cannot be done without any kind of different activities, but it should be in a proper way, that it should be formalized on the basis of proven scientific process. According to Peter F. Drucker, it means, as per the Peter F. Drucker, the lack of proper formation of organization cannot sustain for long time. It means in some of the organization, they are not taking the formation of organizing in a seriously manner. They are taking for granted everything, and that's why they are managing the business by themselves without preparing a proper format or a proper structure of the organization. So in that case, if there is a lack of proper formation of organization, it means the process of the formation of organization is not in a proper way, or the functions are not listed out properly, or the authority and responsibility is not decided, then that kind of organization cannot sustain for a long time. Hence the unit is slowly destroyed, because now it may happen that in the absence of proper administrative activities or proper organizing, some of the work left unattended, and there will be the duplication in some of the work, and it will be result into the chaos in the organization, and which will prove very harmful, and it will not help in accomplishment of objectives. So slowly the unit will be destroyed. It is through ensuring proper steps of the formation of organizing that the functional relations are established in a proper manner, should be done properly. So what should we do in that case? In that case, when the proper formation is not there, it is through ensuring proper steps of the formation of organizing. It means if you are not aware that how to formulate the organizing or how to structure out everything, then first of all ensuring proper steps, so that you will be able to understand it, that the functional relations are established in a proper manner, it should be done properly. So each and every activity is done properly with the help of the steps for the process of organizing. There should be the functional relation between different functions of the organization, and that will be helpful in accomplishment of objective. So let us start with the steps of the process of organizing. Here basically the sequence will be like, first of all, clarification of objectives. It is the same point as we discussed in chapter number 3 in planning also, that first of all we have to make the clarification regarding the objectives to be achieved, or we can say the objectives of the business organization while they are managing the business. Then list of functions. So first of all here we are making the list of functions, that each and every functions which are required for the proper organization should be listed out. So we cannot skip any of the function in the process of formulation of organizing. Then third one is departmentation of function. It may happen that there will be the list of functions the list of functions are very long. Sometimes they includes 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, or sometimes there will be the 100 functions included in it. So we cannot functionalize all these activities, because it is very long and tough and time consuming also. So for our convenience, we make the departmentation of function, where each and every function according to their functional area are distributed among the functional areas like marketing, human resource, production, etc. Then fourth one, to determine departmental position and ability. Once when we departmentalize all the activities in a proper sequence, then now we'll discuss the departmental position, that is in each and every department, the manager, officers, executives, clerks, supervisors, and their position and their required abilities. Then fifth one is the delegation of power and responsibility according to the departmental position and abilities. Then establishment of interrelationship among all these levels of the organizing. And lastly, to prepare organizational chart. So this is the whole process through which we can functionalize the organizing process, or by which we can properly structure out the organizing itself. So let us now discuss these points in a detail. So your idea regarding organizing will be more clarified, and we can say you will be more clear regarding the organizing, because sometimes it may happen that the staffing and organizing will be understood as the same. And for the sake of clear understanding, let us start with the steps of the process of organizing. First one is clarification of objectives. Before formation of organization structure, it is necessary to have the clearly defined goals and its proper understanding. The main and the sub goals should be properly interpreted, and on the basis of which organization is formed. Hence, the establishment of proper goals and with proper clarity is the first steps towards proper organizing. Here in management, any of the activities, whether it is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, or controlling, without objective, there is no meaning of it. It means for any of the organizing, for any of the activities of the management, first of all, it is very necessary to clarify the objectives of the business. So here also, before formation of organizational structure, it means before we formalize any of the organizational structure, it is necessary to have the clearly defined goals and its proper understanding, because the organization structure is done on the basis of the nature of the activities, or on the basis of the activities to be undertaken in the organization. So once if the structure is formulated, then it becomes very difficult to rearrange or to reorganize all the activities of the business. So before we exercise all these activities in a detailed manner, it is very necessary to have the clearly defined goals and proper understanding regarding this. Different organizations are having different goals, because today we are seeing that in some of the organization there is cutthroat competition. It means their competition is very active, and in that case the longest organization structure will be harmful for the business activities, while some of the organizations are having a very passive type of competition, and they do not require this kind of quick decision and that this kind of total decision which will be very effective for the functioning of the business organization, because it is going in easy way, while in the former case it becomes very difficult if there is a longest organization structure. So before formation of this kind of organization structure, the clarity is very necessary, because if it is kind of a structure where quick decision should be there, so the organization structure will be developed in a way that will be helpful in quick decision. So it is necessary to have the clearly defined goals and proper understanding of the goals of the business organization. Next one is the main and the sub goals should be properly interpreted, and on the basis of which organization is formed. It means in organization, there are two types of goals are there. First one is the main goal. Basically, the main goal is always profit earning, but here the main goal will be sometime to out outer or to fight against the competitors who are very close to the business, and sometimes the objective of the organization is to fight against the cutthroat competition and survival in the business organization. So the main goals are based on the total activities of the organization, while the sub goals are decided on a timely manner. That sometimes the sub goals are of a week or of a month or of a quarter, or if the profit making is the main goal, then there should be the sub goal like the profit making within 1 month or 2 months or 3 months and everything. So based on the organization and its activity, the main and the sub goals should be properly interpreted, because with the help of this goal only we can formulate our business activities, and proper interpretation on the part of the goals should be necessary, and based on which the organization can be formed. So hence the establishment of proper goals, it means the clarity regarding the main goal and the sub goal, and with proper clarity regarding the achievement of the goal timely manner is the first steps towards proper organizing. After clarification of objectives, that is the main goals and sub goals should be properly interpreted and it is properly clarified, on which the organization is formed. Now let us move towards the second function of the organizing, and that is the list of functions. It means now we are listing out all that functions which are necessary for the business activities, whether it is a small function or a big function, whether it required a proper attention or maybe outperform or whatever it is. We should focus on the list of functions. After having clearly defined goals, with the help of organizational structure, the list of work to be done is prepared. At the time of preparing such a list, it is ensured that not a single task is left or is repeated, and a special care is taken for the same. Hence, the list of functions should be prepared on the basis of its proper consideration, and the final distribution should be done. Now here in this point we are going to discuss everything about the functions that are required for the proper functioning or smooth functioning of the organization. So first of all, after clarifying defined goals, it means once we decided our future path of success or goal of the organization, with the help of organization structure, the list of work is to be done or is prepared. First of all, line this statement. Once you prepare the organization structure, then you will ask each and every member who is associated in this organization structure or who is placed in this organization structure, the list of work to be done is prepared. It means once you establish a proper structure where each and everything is decided, like the top level management authorities, their authority and responsibility, then middle level management and the different departments that are working on the middle level management, then according to the departments established in the middle level management, now we are deciding the list of work to be done is prepared. Say for example, in second level, that is middle level of management, one function with the name of marketing management is placed there. Now in marketing management, different kind of activities like purchase, sales, advertisement, sales promotion, after sales services, installation and everything, each and every small function, starting from the design of the product to end after sales services its branding, labeling, packaging, each and every small matters should be identified and prepare a list according to the department itself. So first of all, when we clarify our defined goals or that is the accomplishment of objective, now with the help of organization structure, it means with the help of different departments or different kind of activities, now the list of work is to be done or the list of work to be done is prepared. Now, at the time of preparing such a list, it is ensured that not a single task is left or is repeated. It means, first of all, we prepare the list of all the activities, then with the help of check and correct method, we are checking all the activities, that whether if any of the activity is repeated, then we should remove it, or if anything which is left, we can add it to the list of the activities, and a special care is taken for the same, because the special persons are engaged in this kind of activities and they should take proper care that nothing can be left or nothing can be repeated. Hence the list of functions should be prepared on the basis of its proper consideration and final distribution should be done. So with this point we are concluding our today's session over here. In next lecture, when we are going to discuss about the process in detail, again we will discuss these 2 points in a brief manner so that you will be able to understand each and everything properly. Thank you very much, class.